our new April release. Yeah, I know I'm a bit late, but hey, late's better than never around here. So this was part of our April release, which should have been our February release, which was part of our Advent calendar last December. See, I'm a bit behind, but we'll get there eventually. We won't worry about that. Mel's saying lately is better late than never. So I didn't want to do a Christmassy layout. I'm coming back on at 1 o'clock tomorrow, Sunday the whatever that is, to do another layout. So it might be a Christmassy one tomorrow because there's a fair bit of Christmas stuff in the Advent calendar. But this one I wanted to make something different. So I've grabbed a few bits and pieces and a few inks and paints and see how we go. I've got a general idea of, why is my phone buzzing at me? General idea of what I want to do. A little bit of a idea in my head, and we will see what happens. Sometimes I have an idea in my head and, well, the idea doesn't really turn out. But we'll see how we're going. So, in the Advent calendar, you've got a pack of papers. So they're a bit Christmassy, a bit not. This is the front sheet of the papers. And I grabbed this one, a scrap of this one that we've already played with. I grabbed the girl because I thought she was really cool. I grabbed the space napkins only because I wanted to use some napkins and they match the colours. So we're going with a bit of a girly, spacey, themey thing. Don't know it's going to be a thing. I grabbed some of our fantastic new acetate. Yes, Mel's producing acetate now. She's worked out how to do it. So these are some circle frames that we may use. These come in the Advent calendar as well. We've got lots of new acetate coming out in July. Shh, don't tell anyone. Got to get it all organised for July. And these sayings also come in your Advent calendar. So if you did purchase our Advent calendar in 2025, yes, getting the years right, you will have these bits and pieces. If you didn't, all these bits and pieces are available on the website for you to go and purchase if you want to have a play. Or if not, dive into your stash and make something similar with similar sort of products. The only thing about the Advent calendar was this year I had limited napkins, so you either got pack A of napkins or pack B. Trying to figure that out for this year's Advent calendar. Yes, I'm nutty and there's going to be a this year's Advent calendar. Trying to work out how we can put the same napkins in every calendar, but that is a problem for another day. Now, what am I going to do first? I need to stick down some paper. So let's put our lady and our napkins and our acetate over, sort of box off to the side of me with... The other thing I just grabbed was some book paper scraps. We might put that in there as well. So, what am I doing? So my idea is to have sort of like a splash of colour across the double page. So I'm working in a Delusions journal, the large craft journal. And I'm working on the front page, so I've just put a book under it so I'm flat. So this is usually cream pages, but I have just, the only thing I've done before class is put a coat of white gesso down. For two reasons. I find working on the cream is a bit interesting, and I wanted some white space. Yes, Mel's going to leave white space at the top and the bottom of the page. Wow. So I wanted white, and also the gesso gives your page a barrier or a seal, and then you can go ahead and put all your inks and paints and things on top, and then your paint is not soaking into your paper. So what am I doing? I'm going to start with the papers, and I'm going to just tear some. So my idea is to have sort of a strip going across the middle. The girl's going to sit in the middle. The planets are going to sort of sit somehow, and it's going to fade out to white at the top. That's what I'm thinking is in my brain. We'll see what comes out. So I'm sort of wanting to add some colour across the middle. So these are some gel prints that or some off-print papers that I had in my stash, and I've scanned them and turned them into digital papers. So this pack is available in a printed form. So you get printed photocopy paper. I like printing on photocopy paper because it's nice and thin for the art journal. It doesn't get too thick. And also, I'll think of it in a minute. When you're layering it up, it's nice and thin, and why print on thicker paper when you don't need it? You can also buy this as a digital pack on the website as well, so you can buy it as digital files and you can print them yourself if you want to do that. If you are printing them yourself, you just need to bear in mind that they are best printed with a laser printer, as in a toner printer, when the paper comes out a little hot. as opposed to an inkjet printer. You could use an inkjet printer, but the problem with that is sometimes the ink might run a little. I don't have any comments up so far, so if you've popped in a comment and I haven't seen it, I am sorry. I'm just checking my phone. Okay, I've got comments on my phone, but not on my computer. That's real handy. Hi, Jane. Hi, Linda. Yeah, nice surprise, Linda. I've been meaning to do this for a couple of months. Life's just nuts at the moment. Okay, I'm going to have to read comments on my phone, which is very, very annoying because it's very, very small print. So if I do miss your comment, I'll glance at my phone on a regular basis. So yes, so you can buy these prints either as a digital file or as a printed pack of paper, and we can post them out. All those are 25% off as well. I'm hoping the second half of this year to be on Facebook a little bit more and doing some more lives and things. Just life, well, life's just been busy. Busy. Let me rip a bit of this. Life's just been nuts. So I feel like I'm going from one disaster to another usually. And just have to be super organised this second half of the year because I've got things happening. And I've just got to be super organised. And being super organised and doing things early before the absolute deadline is not my forte. It's not what I'm good at. So Mel has to get better at doing things. But I just, yeah, fun and games. Now, I don't really want that to be a solid edge, so I'm going to tear this a little. So I find the torn edges will fade more into the painting, and when I go to sort of bring the paint in and the stenciling and the inking and all that sort of stuff. So I want a little bit more of that. So how's everyone going on a lovely winter day? I've been putting my heater on and off all day. I put it on and I'm too hot. Okay, I'm going to bring my rubbish bin over here somewhere. Maybe. Hopefully that's not in view. If it is, I'm sorry. I'm watching you can see it a bit at the top. That's all right. I'm watching a bit of a delayed thing on my phone. So I'm just going to sort of set up where I want bits. Do I want a bit of this darkness? So I do like this aqua colour here. I'm just cutting off the white bits. That could be enough. Let's go stick that down. Let's just stink and plonk and not think today. So I'm just going to grab some. Is this one going to be good? I'm waiting on some really good gel medium to come in. This is soft gel medium, so it's one I can pick up locally here. Is it actually open? No. Do I have anything open? No, probably not. Let's open this one. I'm waiting on my Dina Wakley gel medium to arrive. It didn't arrive in time for the weekend. Oh, this one might be. Oh, it's all yucky at the top. Let's get rid of all that cruddiness at the top. I wonder if it's any good. Let's see. I'll stick my finger in it and it was squishy. Trying to use up a lot of older things that have been hanging around my stash for a while, because if you're any sort of crafter, you know that liquidy things don't last very long in your stash. They tend to dry out. Oh, this one might be dried out. That's right, we'll see. Yeah, it's a little squishy. It's usually a bit softer, but we'll see what it goes. If not, I will delve into my shelf and find something else. So basically we're going to glue it down, so I'm going to put some glue underneath where I'm going to stick my paper, and then I'm going to do a thin layer on top. And it looks like it's going to work. It's a bit thicker than I want it to be, but we're just going to go with it. Use it up. I don't think a lot of manufacturers think when they make jars of stuff to make it airtight. So I just want to overlap a bit. Yeah, I think this jar is going out after this class to buy something else for tomorrow if I'm using paper. It's a bit thick. That's right, it's just going to add more texture. So sort of just doing this in the middle third of my page. I haven't had much success with these gel mediums when they do get a bit thick of adding water to them. It doesn't tend to reconstitute it at all. That'll just teach me not to craft for a while and my stuff just sits there. So I don't want to hide these flat edges, so I'm going to stick these flat edges together. We don't have a craft store anywhere near in my town anymore, so or a dedicated one. So I have to order everything online, and sometimes it just doesn't arrive in time. So I have to make do. And we'll stick this bit in here. So I tend to not like to stick a lot in the gutter of my book because it can get a bit bulky, but the thin paper, the thinness of the copy paper won't matter. Oh, I missed that big bit down here. Yeah. Okay, let's put some book text. Oh, I just got that all over my fingers. All thumbs today. Let's put a bit of book text here and there. Just going to tear off the white bits on the side. So is anyone in their craft room crafting along? Not doing obviously the same thing I'm doing because I didn't give you any notes of what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing half an hour ago. Yeah, I was doing an art journal page, but if I plan a layout too much and then it doesn't go the way I think my head thinks it needs to go, I get a bit frustrated. So sometimes I just grab some products, have a vague idea, and jump in and go for it. Seems to work for me. Let's stick the words actually up the right way, which might be good. A lot of this is probably going to get up the right way, would be a good idea. A lot of this is probably going to get covered up anyway. No, I think we're going to stop using that because now it's ripping things. Okay, what other gluey things have I got up here? Or can I go down the bottom a bit more? Because I think the top's a bit more. Let's persist with it. Why not? It's just a bit more goopy than I'd like, but oh well. It's not an art journal page until something goes wrong. It's not a Melinda art journal page until something goes wrong. Just have to make sure I don't go over and over the top of it. I'm trying to group all my supplies together so things just don't get lost and forgotten about, and then are not usable. And I'm also not real good at putting things away, so there's that too. Hi Tracy, how you going? Okay, now I think I've got enough of that sort of stuff. I'm going to, yeah, I think this one's going to go in the bin. The gel medium's going to go in the bin after I finish today. That's still a little sticky. Let's give it a little bit of a heat tool dry. Hopefully this is not too loud. Doesn't have to be 100% dry because we're going to put some napkins over the top of it. Sorry, just reaching in to get some of my thinner matte medium. So to stick my napkins on with, I like to use the Montmark acrylic matte medium, so it's a lot more liquidy. You can hear it going slushing around. So I just put a little bit into a Vegemite jar because I just like to dip my brush in. So let's get, uh-oh, what did I just hit? Hit my mouse. And then it did something on my computer. So I'm going to use the space napkins, so let me just cut these into quarters. So my daughter loves to go out and buy napkins. We're out the other day and she goes, can we look for napkins? I go, don't we have like 100,000 designs? Well, not that many. I don't know, our code numbers are up to 1,000, so we probably have had that many designs in the past few years. She goes, no, we don't have this one, we don't have that one. So we sell the paper napkins on the website. So when you get paper napkins, they come with a white layer on the back, and this one's just going to fall off, which is lovely. Sometimes they do. You can keep the white napkins and use them for something, but I've got that many of them. So paper napkins are very translucent, so we've got to be careful of where we put them, because that's not stuck down properly. Because if you put sort of a white or a lighter coloured napkin over a darker area, the colour of the napkin is going to be tainted by what's underneath it. This one's got a blue background, so it's going to be a bit more opaque. Screw that bit down. So the best way to, let me move this out of the way. The best way to make the napkin fade into background is actually to what we call water cut it out. I'm just looking for another paintbrush that I can use. A smallish paintbrush. This one will work. So a small paintbrush, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this big orange planet out with this little blue one near it. So I'm just being careful I don't put it over my wet page, because then that will end in disaster. So I'm just going to trace around with a damp paintbrush the planets I want, and then I can gently separate them. Be very careful when the napkin gets very wet. So I tend to put my thumb over the piece I want to keep, and then just gently separate it and go in with some more water. You don't want to flood it with water. We'll see where that planet starts and stops. You don't want to flood it with water, because the napkin will get very, very soft, and that's not the look we want to go for. And I just want to take this side bit off so it's not a straight edge. So again, being a torn edge or a fluffy edge, they will fade into the background a bit more. And because this has got a bit cut off, I'm going to line it up with the side of my journal. I'm going to stick that one down now and do them one by one. Same thing we did with the paper. We're just going to do a small layer of the acrylic matte medium, the really runny one, under the napkin. Gently put our napkin down, and then put a layer over the top. The reason we put a layer over the top is two things. It helps seals it to the page, and you don't want to go over and over and over the napkin, because they get very fragile when they are wet, and they will tear very easily. They're just going into the background, and at the moment it's looking a bit of a hot mess, but we are going to make it not look a hot mess. We're going to cut out this, I don't know, is this satin? Or Planet Knowledge is not good, but I think the one with the rings is satin. So just trying to keep an eye on comments on my phone. Welcome to any new people that have just popped in. I can't see on my phone, so if I do not acknowledge you when you pop in. Just coming on with a bit of a play with our new April release. Yeah, I know we're in July, but nearly July, but how come it's nearly July in a couple of days? How did that happen? Where's the year gone? It's just gone this year. It's just been a very busy year. I feel I just go from one disaster to another, or one big event to another big event. It's just been a busy year. Thought last year was worse, but no. And having a daughter turn 18, haha, that's been fun too. Getting all of that stuff, getting all the adulting stuff set up, has been hilariously fun with government departments. Not. So I'm just trying to make it not such a straight edge. And then where are we going to stick this one? Oops. Okay, helps if I stick it in the glue, not in the water. Where am I going to stick this one? Up here. Let's not think about it too much. So the bit that I put over the book text, you may see through the rings a bit of the book text, but that's okay. So napkins are great to experiment with. Any technique I do with napkins, you can use any of the rice papers on the market, any of the translucent papers, collage papers. There's so many brands that do them. So the glue works really well for those as well, because they're a lighter fabric, or a lighter paper. Oh, I nearly stuffed this one in the glue. Seriously, I shouldn't have the glue and the water next to each other. And this planet, because it's got the straight edge, I don't like sticking the straight edge in the middle of my page. So what I'm going to do is take the advantage of the edge of my book and stick it over here. So I tend to lap it over my book a bit further than I want, and then I'll trim it off later. We're going to make all this blend in a minute, so you're probably looking at it and going, what is she doing? It's looking like an ugly mess. I'm deliberately not going to use the little astronaut this time, but do I want to use these other planets? Yes. I want to put these other planets on. Hi Sharon, how you going? Just making an art journal page today using our stuff in our advent calendar from last year, which is our new release from April, and yeah, I know we're in June. Hey, Mel's better late than never, that's my motto lately. We get there, eventually. Actually, I was photographing this morning my new release for July, so there'll be a new release of products going up in July. So I do 3 new releases a year, a little bit after my 3 retreats I do a year. So I'm hoping by middle to late July I have all my new products on my website. And we've got some exciting new products coming out at the end of the year I'm working on. I can't tell you about those, that's a secret. You'll see them if you come to my September retreat, and then you'll see them online after that. So just cutting out these planets. Yes, you could cut them with scissors, but I find that the cut edge with scissors is a bit harder to blend in with the paints and things, so I tend to like to watercut them. So you can use napkins as, I'm using them sort of as a background piece at the moment, so they're sort of fading into the background. I'm going to stick this planet up here. Or you can use it as your focal image and put them on last. Because these planets have the blue background on the napkin, I sort of want to smudge paint and ink and that all around them to make them blend in. Now we've got 4, we're going to have 5, so I'm going to have to cut this other planet out. Because I like odd numbers of things. I'm not particularly going to use the little astronaut at the moment. I might change my mind later. Okay, that napkin's getting a bit soft. Just want to tear some of this excess blue off with this one. Working with little bits of napkins is fun, because they tend to stick to your finger and they stick to everything else, especially when you've got glue all over your fingers like me. Where's this one going to go? 1, 2, no, actually I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mel can't count today. I'm going to stick this one on here so it looks like it's behind. What have I done? Oh, we're around. Oh, let's do it this way. Then it's with this one, it looks like 5. I obviously couldn't count before. Oh, you don't want to do that. Oh. That's right, I'll fix that up in a minute. When you're going over the top of the napkins, be very careful, because they can do what I just did and bend back on itself, but it'll still work. Okay, now let's give that a bit of a dry, and we're going to bring in some paints. Let's put my paintbrush in water so I don't wreck another paintbrush. At the moment it's looking like a bit of a hot mess, but we're coming together. Let's give this a bit of a dry. So when I'm drying it, I will hold up my page. So if you hold it flat to your book, the heat's got to penetrate your page and the other pages of your book. So if you hold your book up a little or your page up a bit, the heat will penetrate to the front and the back of the page and dry it a lot quicker. Sorry if that's a bit loud. It's not my preferred heat tool for lives, but my preferred little Tim Holtz one decided it didn't want to work no more. And it's gone into the rubbish. And I cannot get another one because I cannot export them to Australia. I don't know. So I'm on the hunt for a quieter heat tool. If anyone knows of anyone in Australia that has the quieter heat tools. The one I had an American plug on it, and I got it second hand, so I don't know how she got it. Maybe I need to fly to America and buy myself one. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? Have a holiday just to go buy a heat tool. Just try that a bit off. So when we bring paints in, and I just threw the heat tool on the floor. There we go. Stay. This doesn't need to be like 100% dry. We can bring some paints in now. I can feel it's cold, so it's touch dry, but it's still a bit wet underneath. But we are going to just do it. Okay. So I did pick out some paints before in my blue range, and I've also got some inks, and I've got some other paints, but I don't think I'm going to use those. So basically what I want to do now is use the acrylic paints and inks to meld all this together to make it not look so hodgy-podgy. So blending papers and napkins like this is a bit of an art, but you just keep blending until you're happy. So let me think about what colours I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my girl out. The idea that is in my head is my girl wants to sit in here somewhere. So whether I do dark behind her and then do her in a light colour, or I do the reverse, we'll see how it goes. So I sort of had the idea if she's lunging between the clouds, between the planets, daydreaming. I don't know. And I've got a quote, and we might use the frames, and we've got some stamps. So let's do with paint first. So paint's going to hide all these hard edges, and I like to start from, we start from light to dark? Yes, we'll start from light to dark. So these are all Dina Wakley paints I've grabbed. So we've got Dina Wakley Sky, and I've got two of those because I think my sky is nearly finished. We've got Dina Wakley Night, which is a really, really dark blue. I've got Dina Wakley, is it Malachite? M-A-L-A-Shite? Malachite? I butcher the names. I've got one of her new ones, Watery. So basically just light to dark in shades of blue. You can use any acrylic colours. Basically it's sort of the colours that are in here. So this is almost this colour. This greeny colour's sort of on a push, this colour. So I sort of picked the papers, and we've got like the dark blue. So sort of looking at your papers and working out what colours you want to go with. Now, do I want a finger paint or do I want a paintbrush paint? That is the question. Let me see if I can find a paintbrush. I've got a trolley off to the side of me with all my stuff that I regularly use, and I can't find what sort of paintbrush I'm looking for. This sort of paintbrush. Just a small-ish paintbrush. Hopefully that's not one of the ones that I bought for blending. I don't think it is. So I tend to just put my paint straight on my page. Yes, you can put on a paint palette, but why do that? So I'm just going to pick some of the sort of sharpest areas or the flat bits of the paper and sort of start blending it in. So I'm coming up and over the papers. So any of the dark bits that I want to sort of fade out, I'm just putting a bit of paint on. So using a dry brush, and I'm not going to change my brush in between colours or wash it because all the colours will go nice together. I'm sort of trying to go around the planet and sort of not have dark and light sort of next to each other, if that makes sense. So we just start off with one colour and just start blending. So the reason we also put the matte medium or the coat of glue over the top of the napkins is if you have a whoopsie and you put paint or ink where you don't want it, you can easily take it off. And because it's got that layer of sort of water-based protection on top of the papers, whether they're the photocopy papers or the digital printer papers or the napkins, it's allowing you to bring paint on it, and if you don't like it, take it off. And the paint is sitting on top of the papers, not soaking in, if that makes sense. So when you're happy with your first colour, I'm sort of trying to get rid of any hard dark lines around the planets, and I'll bring a few more colours in later. Still wanting to leave a bit of white at the edges, so I'm not going to go directly right to the edge of my page. Pick up my phone and see if there's any comments. Sounds interesting, Sharon. Yeah, this idea in my head. We'll see if it actually comes out. Things sound interesting in my head, but unfortunately sometimes when I go to do them on paper, they don't work out. So hopefully what I'm looking for is I'm wanting the paper and the napkins and the paint and the stenciling and the inking when I do it all, just to make it all blend and all not look fragmented, if that makes sense. So I've just taken the top off my Sky paint and just adding a bit more in. I do still want to see some of the colours of the pattern paper and things that I'll put on the page. So I don't want to totally obliterate. Missing a bit of glue under here. Don't want to obliterate everything that I've stuck down, but I sort of want to start. And blending stuff in like this is an art. You basically keep going till you're happy. If it gets a bit dark, you come in with some lighter colours. If it gets a bit light, you come in with some darker colours. You sort of just pushing and pulling at the colours until you are happy with what you've got on the page. I think my Sky is nearly, oh, there's a bit more, nearly to the point of, I'm going to open the new one. So it's also important to do what we call with the dry brush. So basically I haven't introduced water into this brush, so I'm getting a bit of that sort of sketchiness look, which I don't mind. Yeah, I think this Sky is not going to play nice anymore. That's right, I'm nearly finished with the Sky colour that I want. It's starting to blend in. Once my paints get to the stage where I can't dip a paintbrush anymore in these pots, I tend to then cut it open and use it as well. So it's amazing how much paint is actually in there when you think it is empty. Now I'm going to go with a bit of this, I think it's malachite, M-A-L-A-C-I-T-E. I'm the world's worst at pronouncing things. It says it's like a bluey green. Ooh. It's a nice, that's a bit darker. So let's bring it in. Yeah, the fingers were going to get on the journal eventually. I can't stick to a paintbrush. I find blending with my finger is easier than a paintbrush. I just got a bit on that planet where I didn't want it, so I can just wipe it off with the baby wipe. I find out I start with a brush and then I just keep going with my fingers. I can't keep my fingers off my journal. So again, trying to hide some of those harsh lines and sort of make it meld all in together. If you put too much down, like here, I've got a bit too much, I'm going to wipe some of it back. If we didn't put that coat of matte medium or gel medium, you could also work, that would work too, over the top, that paint would have soaked straight into the paper and you wouldn't have the chance to get it off. That makes sense. Just want to put a bit up here. That's coming together. Bit of a line in here I can see. Add some more colour to it. We're going to bring some stenciling in as well and some inking and stamping. So this is just another layer we're putting on. Am I sort of happy with that? Yes, think so, maybe. I thought, right, I'm not going to procrastinate today. Tend to do that when I teach classes, and it takes me a day and a half to design a 2-hour class. Why, I have no idea, because I procrastinate too much. I thought, right, today we're just going to go with it and do it. So art journaling should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. If you sit down and play and make something at the end you don't really like, that really doesn't matter. You can always learn from your experience and don't do the same thing again. Hi, Belle. How you going? So I think I'm going to dry that off. That's coming together quite nice. So there's a bit up here I don't like. Let me play with that bit before I dry it off. It's just this really dark bit to white bit is annoying me. So I'm just going to go in with a bit of light paint and try to take that darkness off. And of course I put it where I didn't want it. Let's just wipe it off a bit. And a little bit down here. So just sort of playing till I'm happy. Everyone's happiness is different. That's why I say in my in-person classes and on my online classes, everyone's level of happiness is different. I can't talk today. Stop when you are happy. I need another baby wipe before I put paint everywhere. Now I'm putting baby wipes everywhere. I think I'm happy with that. Let's give that a bit of a dry and then decide what we're going to do next. That bit of... Does everyone do that? Stick your hand on your journal page to see if it's dry. I just noticed a bit of my paper is coming up. I obviously didn't stick it down real well. That's right, I find that all the time when I'm journaling. I think I've stuck it all, and then I don't. Yes, I'm using my finger again. I know, I just find with my finger I can get such a smoother level of paint. It's just fun to get dirty. Okay, I'll give that a little bit of a dry. So we're sort of getting a galaxy. Sort of looking like a galaxy. So as you can see now, a lot of the papers and the book text and the paint is sort of all, and the napkins are like all melding together. You sort of can't see, except for here, I'm going to fix that. You can't see where the paper starts, the paint stops. You don't really want gaps. You sort of want it to come up and over each other. And now we're going to bring in some inking and stencils. Just make sure that's all fairly dry. So I grabbed some stencils that were, did I? Oh yeah, I did. So these are a couple of stencils that come in the advent calendar as well. I liked this one because of just the half roundy shape with the planets, and this one just because of the design in the paper. So let's play with this one. When I'm adding details over the paint, I like to add them with ink and a blending brush, just because then I can get a softer look. So I grabbed, where's my other ink pad? I'd lose my head, or maybe I didn't grab it. Got a box off to the side. Oh no, I grabbed this one instead. Oh, that might be the wrong colour. And I've also got white. I thought I grabbed another grey, but maybe I didn't. What's this one? Cornflower blue. Might try that one. This one's a white. that I played with in a class we might do or we might not do. So let's do some stenciling. So I like how the inks add another layer. Why is my phone restarting? Because of course it would restart in the middle of live, so I can't look at things. Because I can't see comments on my computer. Because why would technology actually play nice when I want it to? Because no, it wouldn't. Maybe I've done the wrong setting for the comments on my computer. Oh no, there's the comments. Really? Computer? How can I make those? Oh, can I get rid of that? Ha, now I can see comments on my computer. Brilliant. Must have had done the wrong setting. Yep, technology and I had to buy a new computer in the last couple of weeks, and technology and I are no longer friends at all. We have broken up because I was not wanting a new computer. I was not budgeting for a new computer. Then I had issues with the new computer. So, I don't know. Seriously, if something goes wrong with a product, it's usually in that'll work. And see what I'm doing. Okay. Now I can see comments on the screen. Yay! What am I doing? Okay, I'm stenciling. So I like to stencil with inks. They could be archival inks, which is majority what I use because I don't know what's coming next. If it's one of your last couple of layers, you can use Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. I probably wouldn't use the Distress inks because the inks are translucent and possibly won't layer. Archival inks are usually a bit more opaque and they layer on top of things. Oxides are really good because they layer on top of things, but the oxides are water reactive. So if you then go and decide you want to glue something or add more paint, your ink may run. So that's the reason I like archival inks, and I'm building up quite a collection. I believe the VersaFine Claire is archival as well. So what I want to do, I think I want to do some sort of, I want to soften the harshness at the moment going from the colour to the white, and the way I do that is by stenciling. So this one is quite an old one I've got. It's by Wendy, I think it's Wendy Vecchi, archival ink cornflower blue. And I like using them with the blending brushes. So I always start on the paint, and then I just want to, well, maybe I need to buy a ring for this one. It's very, I don't know, it's working. So the blending brushes are great with the stencils because they really get into all little nooks and crannies. And I always bring my stenciling up and over my paint, even though you can't really see it, but you might see it in a little bit. And then I just want to add a bit more over here. So I'm just going to add another little curly rainbow thing. I think I need a ring for this ink pad. This is the colour I reach for all the time. So I think it's even got a bit of, that's not cornflower blue anymore. I think that's more of a grey. Could be what's in my blending tool. I did wipe it on a baby wipe. So when you are using the blending tools, you just got to watch you don't use it with a different colour and then go and put it in a different coloured ink pad. So I don't want this to go across, like straight across my page. I want it to be like uppy and downy. Yeah, really good words today, Melinda. I don't want it to be sort of straight. And the thing with ink blending is you can go as soft or as hard as you like. And I like it to fade off into places as well. And of course someone is lawn mowing. Really? Don't you know I'm doing a video, peoples? I swear every time I go to do a video, the dog barks incessantly next door. Someone starts up a lawnmower. The rooster used to crow. We got rid of the rooster. The rooster moved out with the people, and then we got a dog that likes to bark incessantly. So I think I prefer the rooster. It's always fun. So we're sort of just going wobbly wobbly all over the page. Yeah, real good words today. Wobbly wobbly. I don't know. It's the weekend. My words don't want to work. So you can get different sizes of these blending tools. I just picked up some smaller ones from J-Craft when they came to my retreat. So I could do like smaller areas, which is really cool. So they're a great investment, these blending tools. Ideally, it's great to have one for every colour range, like have one for all your blues, one for like your lighter colours like yellows and oranges, one for definitely for black. I'm going to have a dedicated one for white. Oh, I like that. See how that sort of just softened the edge of it? Now we're going to do that on the bottom and have our loops going the same way, but only a little bit, because I didn't leave as much on the bottom. Didn't leave as much room. I often do this if I'm wanting to leave white space. I will do inking over the painting, and then it sort of just softens it. Now I'm going to try to line that up again. That's going to be hilariously fun, because I want to do a little bit here. Oh, these little ink pads like to jump around. Just want a hint of a little one here. Do a little bit of a hint across here. Bottom I may not go right across the page. I may. I'll have a look in a minute. I like this stencil. You can sort of isolate little bits of it, or you can use it as a repeating pattern. I think we need just a little bit here. Knowing when to stop is hard. I have an issue with that. Or just a little bit more. I don't know, I play until I'm happy, and sometimes my brain thinks it needs something on the page, when in fact it really probably doesn't. But half the time I don't listen to my brain anyway. Sounds like a good idea, and then I do it anyway. Okay, liking how that looks. Now what do we need to bring into it? Where'd our girl go? Where'd we throw her? I think she's going to have to be dark. So if I paint her dark, it looks like she's sitting on like a Milky Way through the middle. Okay, it needs something more. It needs some stamping, I think. So I've got these new texture stamps I bought, which might look really cool. I like that. Wonder if the star. Oh, I might use the stars. So I got again these from J-Craft, and to come to my retreat. I may have gone shopping. Oopsies. Did I need anything? No. Did I spend a bit of money? Yes. Oops. But in my defense, I was looking for some more texture stamps. I don't have anything like this. So let's grab the stars off. So these are Julie. What are these? Oh, I say Julie Nutting. It's not. It's Julie Hickey. She's a UK designer. So I'm just going to take the star one off. I think the stars will work nice with the planets. I thought these. Oh, that ring might work nice too. So I might do that in a minute. Okay. Now I'm thinking I'm going to try my white ink and see how that works. Because I sort of want to put some stars up in these, the darker areas, I think. I don't know, making that up as I go along. Don't we always do that with art journaling? So I'm not going to put on a stamping block. I'm going to be naughty. Because I just want... Ooh. Now, I'm going to be ready with a baby wipe in case I don't like this. Oh yeah, it's very cool. This stamp is very sticky because it's very new. I didn't want it to be too white. I think it's going to work out really nice. It's just going to add another little bit of layer. It's actually sticking to my fingers, which is rather cool. So I very rarely use a stamping block unless I want a specific image. Now, are we stopping or are we just doing a little bit more? Oh, I like the white stars. Oh, look at me cleaning my stamp. I'm sort of on the hunt for a white ink pad that I can do through a stencil and stamping to just add a little bit of colour, but not too much colour. think I do want to use some of those rings on this ring. Put this one back on the sheet. This one, because I want to use it as an actual ring, I might just grab a stamping block from, where would one be quickly? No idea. Sorry about that. Quickly found one. I didn't think I was doing stamping. Usually I gather up all the supplies. Oh, that one worked. Oh, cool. I'll stick that one on. I probably should wipe these before I use them. Sometimes new stamps have a bit of gunk from the I'll think of it in a minute, the manufacturing process, and sometimes your inks don't want to work real well. I want to bring in some darkness because we've got a bit of darkness in here. So I think we're going to go. Is it going to be the right colour? Let's try it. Why not open all my new ink pads? What a good excuse to get them open and going. So this one, because I want a fairly round circle, like I want the whole circle, I am going to put on a stamping block. It's going to be interesting in my journal. Oh, it's fairly flat. Sometimes if your journal is a bit lumpy bumpy, it's going to not stamp real well. Let me stamp this on a bit of paper first. Stamp it on some book paper. I want to see what the colour is. Look at me testing things and not taking them straight to my page. Wonders never cease. Usually I'm just, oh, I think that's the colour I want. Usually I'm just, let's try it and let's just hopefully not stuff it up kind of person. Actually, I'm wondering what else was on that stamp set. Was there something? No, there was little flowers. I'm thinking I need a little circle. I wonder if this would work. I'm thinking I want to layer it up with a little... Ooh. Oh, that's going to work. Let's just grab things that are within arm reach and use them. So this is just an Art by Marlene paint that I'm going to use as a stamp, so I can have two different size circles. Okay. Where am I going to put these? Up here to start with. So what I'm sort of do I want to do one big one? And then maybe, do I want to do a second big one? Ah, I want to join it to the end of the page. Aha, that's what I want to do. There we go, I like that. Okay, let's do that somewhere else. So I like to join things to the edge of the page. I don't like stamping just like, I would never stamp it just up here on the white as it's floating. I like all my pages to sort of connect to each other, like all my elements. So stamping over the top of the paint, or over the top of stenciling, or connecting it to the side of the page works really well. And I want to do that in the third spot. Where do I want to do it? I want to do it down here. Right off the ink pad. Okay, that only stamped half a step. Let's see if we can line that up. Ha! Yeah, lining that's not going to be fun. Let's not attempt that, because that's just going to end in disaster. Let's stamp another stamp. It's probably because my book. Let me put something. What have I got close to me? I should have a cutting mat. Here we go. Let's slide a cutting mat under and see if we can stamp a bit better. Probably should have thought of that in the first bit. And I want a couple more of those little circles. Oh, I have to remember this. The Art by Marlene paints. I don't use her paints a lot, but they make a nice circle. Pages coming together. It's getting there. Now I'm wondering if so I might give the girl a paint while this dries. So let's see if I can move my book out of the way just a little. Bring her over. I've just got a glass mat under my workspace, and we're going to find a sponge. Really, There's one. I'm going to paint her dark blue. Give her some contrast, otherwise she's not going to stand out. So this is the Dina Wakley Night paint. And just a makeup sponge. Found these really cool macaroon ones at the Kmart the other day. They were reduced, so we thought, oh, they'll work the same as the rectangle ones, or the square ones. So the white shapes on our website are cut out of two, no they're not. What are they cut out of? Cut out of BRD cardstock, mixed media cardstock, I think it's 350 GSM. So you can paint them and ink them and throw a lot of mixed media at them. If you buy our black shapes from the website, they're cut out of the 210 GSM cardstock. So they're more sort of to stick on, they don't take as much mixed media. Let's see what she looks like. I'll clean that up before I get it all over myself and all over my journal and all over my jumper. And I should have my apron on, but I couldn't find it. I thought I had plenty of time today, and then all of a sudden it was 12:30, and it's like, what? Where's the time gone? Where's the morning gone? Okay, so I want her to sit. She needs to sit on something because she looks a bit funny sitting in the middle of nowhere. So she needs to be grounded somehow. Somehow. Let me think. I wonder. It's probably not really going to work, is it? I was going to think of using some of these acetate, I can't talk today, frames, but I don't know. I wonder how she would sit in a frame or on a frame. She's dark and they're dark. What did she sat on? She sat on that one. That was. Let's cut this one out and see. So this is one of our scallop acetate sheets. So when I cut this one out to use, I'm not going to be fancy and cut all around all those scallop shapes because that sounds like too much work. All I'm going to do is cut around in a circle, just sort of touching the edge of each of the scallops. If you wanted to, and now I can't see where I'm cutting, if you wanted to fancy cut it, you could, but who's got time for that? Let's see if I can make one of these fancy acetate frames work. May not work. Not thinking of what I'm not looking like what, maybe the darker one, but now she's dark. Maybe I should have left her white and put her on the white frame. Maybe I should have left her white and put it on the darker frame. I could always grab up another one of her. Let's cut out the dark frame and see what it looks like. Changing my mind, I don't know. I can change my mind. I'm allowed to. I'm enjoying working with acetate at the moment. It's so much fun. It's very interactive. You can do so much with it. You can paint it, ink it, and alcohol ink it, and stick it on, and do all sorts of fun stuff. We've got a few more designs coming out in July with the acetate frame. So if you've got any hints or things that you'd like in acetate, hi Desiree, how you going? If you've got any ideas for acetate frames, let me know and I can make just about anything. Now that I've painted it black, oh maybe, okay, she doesn't look that bad. Maybe, no, hang on. I might grab another one in white and see what it looks like. Come on computer, stop trying to time out because I haven't touched you for a while. Give me 2 seconds to find another white person. Come on. I should have been not cheeky, and looked up the number on the computer, and then I would have gone right to the right bag, but I knew it was in the last box. What happens? Ooh, I do like her in white. Okay, so now we've got a blue person that I can use on something else. I think I do like her in white. What does she look like? Why is my other phone going off now? Oh. How do I turn that off completely? Oh, that might go off again in a minute. It was an old alarm from my other phone. This is why I don't like technology, because I decided to give my phone a bath the other day, and that didn't go down well. I do like... I just want to... sort of... Oh, I do like how she looks. It may be looking funny on the video because you're getting the glare from the acetate. If you didn't want the glare from the acetate, you could always cut out in the middle circle. Actually, we could do that, and then she could be tucked in and behind it. Let's do that. So I'm going to cut just inside the black circle. And because it's clear acetate, if you're a bit wonky with your cutting, who really cares? Because you're not really going to see it. The clear acetate almost fades in with your page. Now I can have a sort of... Ooh, I can have her more interactive with the circle, so she doesn't look like she's sitting on top. It's probably still going to be a bit hard for you guys to see. Now, do I want a white or do I want to paint her a lighter colour? That is the question. I'm being indecisive again. Where'd my comments go? Hang on, just lining up my comments on my computer. I hit my mouse. Hi Karen, hi Bev, how you going? Just playing around with some of our new, well, our things from our advent calendar last year, and that were in the website new for April. I'm a bit behind this year. Better late than never. Deciding if she needs to be a different colour. What do you people think? Does she stay white, or does she become like a light blue colour? Or do you like her white? Because I don't think... Oh, actually, I do like a blue. Oh, really seriously, make up your mind, Melinda. I do actually like a blue now in the black frame. Actually, I do like that colour now. Now that I decided I didn't want a white. That acetate needs a bit of grounding, a bit of something, a bit of, I don't know. I don't know. What does it need? It needs... Maybe she needs a second one. Maybe she needs half a frame. She looks like she's just floating. Now I'm being indecisive. I do like her black being back blue. Oh, Karen's saying light blue. Okay, let's colour one light blue and we'll see. I don't know about the dark blue. Oh, maybe I could put... Ooh, I'm thinking. Light blue. Let's do sky blue. Maybe I could put some lines like she's hanging on a ring in space, because it just looks like it's floating to me, and things that just float in the middle and aren't grounded just don't do well with my head. My head goes, it needs to be grounded. This might not be the right blue. Let's see. No, I don't like that blue. Let's go this one. Let's go watery, the other light blue. It's going to be a mixture. No, it's not going to stand out. Yeah, we'll do a mixture of them. One was too dark, one was too light. And now I'm getting dark blue in it. Seriously. I should have grabbed another sponge. Hey, the mixture might be good. Let's go back over it with these colours. Maybe I should design my classes live and then I will kind of get everyone's opinion. Actually, I do like that. Let's clean up the mess I've just made. I'm the messiest crafter. Oh, Lynn, you've been watching quietly in the background. I tend to do that with lives because I'm usually multitasking and doing something else and listening in. It's almost like you've got a friend in the room with you when you're listening to a live. Oh, that's what I think anyway. Okay, let's dry that off. Oops. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got the smallest amount of space on my desk to craft in because it's got everything else on it. Oh, I do like that colour because she's being subtle. Okay. It is what it is, Jane. Now, that's really black and I need blackness somewhere else. So I'm wondering how I can bring black in somewhere else. Thinking. Actually, I'm going to put a quote on. Let's do that because it might balance the black. So these are the quotes that were in the advent calendar as well, in acetate. So we've got one thing that I know, that is I know nothing, maybe not. There's one that I looked at. Trust your crazy ideas, hold tight, because I'm thinking a quote across this light bit would be good. What's this one? Broken crayons will still colour bright. No, choose to see the good. Hold light to your dreams. Be awesome today. Give out what you most want back. Think happy thoughts. I think hold tight to your dreams. I think we might do that one, and maybe that black will balance it out wherever I put my scissors. Trust your crazy ideas or hold tight to your dreams. I think hold tight to your dreams. So I've spaced these acetate quotes hopefully enough apart that we can cut them up and use them. It's a toss-up of trying to get as many on the page and have enough room to cut them apart. Which I think I want to take a little bit more off the bottom there. Yes, I could cut on a paper trimmer, but that just sounds like too much work getting my paper trimmer out. The acetate's quite forgiving, and it will not stand out like a sore thumb. Hold tight. Just wondering if I snip it. Hold tight to your dreams. I think that's going to balance the black. And then what I was thinking is, oh, I'll put the black ring around the other moon over here. Ooh, that's a good idea. I felt it needed some more black over here. So I should craft with you girls all the time. You can come up with all my ideas. I've got like a... I'm thinking I need 3 if I do that. What if I... Nope. What if I cut that little bit off and stuck it up here? That would probably work. Don't want to work that way. So I'm cutting from there to there. Let's see if I can cut it straight. So some of the frames are solid like this black one, and this one's sort of shaded, so you can get a few different... I'll put this one up here. Then it's sort of subtle, but it's there. That's looking good. Okay. I think she might need some shadowing or something to... She needs a shadow with my pencil. This is coming out very different than I imagined, but I'm liking it. It's very different. I try to do different stuff all the time, especially when I teach classes. It's a bit boring to do the same stuff. So this is a Stabilo oil pencil. So basically it's a water reactive. Really? I thought I'd silence that alarm. No. So this is a Stabilo all water reactive pencil. So you can sort of draw on like a normal pencil, but then you can get a damp paintbrush. And where's my paintbrush gone? My blue one. And yeah, that's a bit too much. Just want a bit of a shadow behind her, or she's casting a shadow. So the harder you press with the pencil, the more black sort of inky stuff you put on your page, and then when you water reacted, it can be quite black. But you can always take it off with a baby wipe. You can also smudge it with a baby wipe because the little amount of water that's in the baby wipe will allow you to smudge it. What I was going to do is I was going to have a bit of a play around our planets and try to give them a bit more depth. So you can also smudge it with your finger as well. There's a little bit of oil or sort of moisture in my finger that is allowing me to smudge it as well. So don't be afraid to paint up and over your napkins, shade up and over your napkins. They're just a starting point. They're not the ending point for your page. So I often, you could paint over and change the colours if you didn't like a certain colour on a napkin. You can do a lot with them. Just trying to bring out add a bit more depth to the... Oh, I just spat on the acetate. That was really good. And we'll do a bit here. Bit of a quirky page today, but that's okay. If art journals were all the same, they'd be boring. And for me, art journaling is more about the play, the taking the time out to sit down and have a play. I haven't had a lot of that lately. I design quite a few classes, which is great per year, but I just have not had time to just sit and create and play, and that's what I enjoy doing. And just making a mess. And if you get to the end and don't like your mess, oh well, close the book and start another mess. Just trying to add a bit of depth to those planets to make them stand out. I think she looks a bit more grounded now, as in it's just not floating in mid-air. Not sure whether I'm liking that bit up there, but I think it needs it subtle, and we will go with subtle today. So I'm wondering, I don't want to do a whole border around my page, but what if I just darken a bit where my paint is, because I still want to keep that white space. Darken a bit where the paint is, so it gives it a bit of a border, but not a very harsh border. That makes sense. So we're back on tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yeah, it was 1 o'clock today. Do another art journal page, having another bit of a play. I think it's going to be a bit Christmassy tomorrow because there's a lot of Christmas things in our advent calendar. Didn't want to do something Christmassy today. But tomorrow is one more day closer to July, so it's closer to Christmas. Okay, let's stick our acetate down there. How do we stick our acetate down? Good question. When it's a black ring like this, we can put glue, a good craft glue, behind the acetate, or a bit of really, you know, that red sticky tape that's embossing or glitter foil tape. It's got the red backing and it's really, really sticky. That works great for acetate as well. So you basically want to put your glue where you're hiding it so you don't see it. So I've just put a ring around where the darkest bit of the acetate is, or the printing on the acetate is, and hold it down. So you can colour acetate as well, that's fun. I'll have to come on and do some colouring of acetate another day. Come on, stick. It's trying to stick over napkins, so it's a bit lumpy. I've even glued using, this is Couture Creations, actually it could be art glitter glue in this, I've got either one in this container. Even putting it under the clear acetate where our quote is, you almost don't see it when it dries, which is really good. You just want a glue that dries clear. Oops. You could always staple it on, that's a bit hard in an art journal. Staple acetate on, you can use brads if you're using it on scrapbook pages. So there's a lot of different ways to adhere the acetate down. It's just sometimes a bit hard in an art journal. Oh, hi Wendy, how you going? Yes, you can watch the replay. I will make sure I grab the video. It'll be on Facebook for 30 days because Facebook have brought in this new rule that videos are only on Facebook for 30 days. But I do go and download them and upload them to, then upload them. Download them and upload them to my YouTube channel, which is the same as my business name, Scrapbooking and Craft. So if you're looking for any inspiration or any of our old videos or lives, you can go to the YouTube channel. We have YouTube, the website, Facebook and Instagram all under the same Scrapbooking and Craft. So it's really easy to find. And I'm trying to put a picture of the layouts as the thumbnail on YouTube so they're easy to find. Sometimes I forget. But I will upload some pictures of this after I finish the live in a couple of minutes, because we are nearly done. So we're back on at 1 o'clock tomorrow, and these ones are all recorded so you can come back and watch again if you like, or you can grab some supplies that are similar in your stash and play along. I sometimes like to do that if I am wanting to do something but not wanting to be that creative. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. If I am wanting to be creative but not wanting to think what I want to do, I'll often find a YouTube channel and grab some supplies that are very similar and just play along, and my page usually turns out so different and nothing like the one I'm copying, but it sort of gives you a jumping off point. Because sitting here and staring at a blank page is oh so fun, not? Oh, hang on, Wendy. No, it's supposed to say, what does it say? No, it's supposed to say June 30th. Sorry, I will go correct that. Oh, I don't know what planet I'm on lately. Yes, I will go correct the pin post. So we've got 25% off everything on our website until June 30th, till the end of the financial year. Some days I'm not allowed to just do stuff because I need apparently adult supervision. Excuse me, hang on. See, I don't even know what month we're in. Half the time. Thanks for pointing that out, Wendy. So the discount is automatic on the website. You don't need to put any codes or find a code. Just pop in everything in your shopping cart, and then when you go to checkout, it should come up with 25% off your order. I am going to just want her to stand out a little bit more. So we've also got a new release coming out in July. I'm sort of catching up. This is supposed to be my videos from April, but shh, don't tell anyone. Yeah, I need adult supervision, Jane. God, some of the dumb stuff I'm doing lately. Seriously. Or is that what you call women going through a midlife crisis? We just do dumb stuff. Like, I decided to give my mobile phone a bath the other day. I dropped it in the kitchen sink. I never have water in my kitchen sink. The day I decided to soak something in my kitchen sink, I then was doing something in the kitchen and decided to drop my phone in the kitchen sink. It survived, but it had to dry out for a week. Luckily, I had a spare phone. So I have a spare phone in the house when my daughter stays here with support workers, so I grabbed that phone. Do you know how difficult it is to get a banking app on a second phone? Because every time I go into my internet banking, which is probably what you guys have to do, is you have to go on your mobile phone and authenticate it's you. It wanted me to go on the phone that had just been dunked in the water and authenticate it was me trying to add the app to another phone. And I'm going, that's not possible. That phone is having a timeout because it got through in the water. So there was a lot of cursing and swearing because I had to pay bills and pay people, and I couldn't access my banking. So I eventually got it to work, got it authenticated another way, but it's like, what if you lose your phone or your phone gets stolen and you're trying to set up your banking app on another phone and it says, please go authenticate in your old phone? It's like, who decided to do that? I don't wish the year away. No, I'm done with this decade, I've decided. The 2020s has been a horrible decade. Can I start 2030? Between the 2020s, what happened in 2020 and beyond, and then, yeah, I've just had a crappy couple of years, but can only get better. I'm desperate need of a holiday, but I'm also in desperate need of not spending a whole lot of money. That's right, we get there eventually. I just need more than 24 hours in my day and I'll be happy lately. Just doesn't seem to be enough time for anything. Just wanted her to stand out. Oh, excuse me. Her to stand out a bit more. I think, let's take these 2 bits of paper out. Just some baking paper I put behind my pages so I don't slop stuff everywhere. I'm thinking it's time to stop. Not exactly what I envisioned in my head, but it never is when I think I'm going to do something, but I'm liking it. It's very different. I have white space, which if you've done a few of my classes or know a few of my layouts, white space is never really present in my pages. I usually take colour to right to the edge. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and watch me throw some paint and paper on paper. That's what some people ask, what is art journaling? I said, oh, we just throw paint and paper on paper and and make a mess. I will go and take a photo of this and pop it up on the Facebook page and link any products I've used. So if you do want to play along, the products will be there. If not, dive into your stash, because I'm sure we could all craft for 10 years without buying anything. Me, probably 20, but shh, don't tell anyone that. And have a go at something similar. I liked a bit of white space. Possibly I should have done more white space at the bottom and not at the top, but oh well, it is what it is. I don't think very much when I start things. I just start throwing things on the paper and see how they work out. But I love how I've got to blend in all the papers and things and it's all looking cohesive, and then the planet napkins are sort of coming out and cool. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. I will go correct that lovely error that Wendy pointed out of my sale. It's not going till November. It's going to the end of the month, and if you're not doing anything tomorrow at 1 o'clock, come and join me. It'll be a bit of a Christmassy theme tomorrow. I've got a bit of an idea swirling around in my head with a few of the products from the Advent Calendar. And then I hope to be sort of on a bit more frequently on Facebook doing some stuff. or having some inspirational videos up. Just, yeah, I need that thing called time, and I keep misplacing it or losing it. But we'll get there eventually. Thanks very much. I will see you girls tomorrow, maybe. I'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Bye.